that Peter Obi rile you up, and the only reason is because you know that Peter Obi could be a winning factor in 2027. Why does Peter Obi become a problem to you whenever you hear his name?
Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before I allow people to just watch this video, the fear of Peter Obi in 2027 is what is affecting all of them. They can't withstand it. The heat is too much. That's why they are sending him to come and represent them. But it won't work. It's not gonna work. This man is saying all sorts of things against this Peter Obi. Only the interview with Peter Obi. Granted, that's why he's even running up and down, saying this and that. Mr. Man, just leave Peter Obi because you guys can't stop what is going to happen in 2027. Let me just allow you just listen to what he said. I even like the question. Why is he uncomfortable anytime he has Peter Obi's name? Why won't he be uncomfortable? Because Peter Obi is gonna put pepper in their eyes in 2027. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment.
That Peter Obi rile you up, and the only reason is because you know that Peter Obi could be a winning factor in 2027. Why does Peter Obi become a problem to you whenever you hear his name?
That's not true. He doesn't rile me up. I rile him up, but he doesn't rile me up. The reason why I had to come here, I had to leave California and come here, is because I'm a patriot. Peter Obi lied, and he lied. There are foreign direct investors who are watching your program and who are making investment decisions not to come to Nigeria. There are foreign investors in Nigeria who are making investment decisions to leave Nigeria because of the lies he told. One of the lies that he told is that the president has borrowed more than the administrations of Yaradua, President Jonathan and Buhari put together, and that's just a blatant lie. I have here with me from the Debt Management Office, and Nigerians who are watching, they can actually go to dmo.gov.ng, or you can go to Google and just put Debt Management Office, Nigeria State of Indebtedness 2015. As of 2015, this is a PDF document from the Debt Management Office. Nigeria was owing a total of $63 billion. That's it here. I don't know if your camera can catch it. Now, when Buhari was leaving office, this is from the Debt Management Office, this is not from me. The Debt Management Office was set up by law. We've got people who are apolitical there. They're not members of the PDP, APC, or ADC. Buhari left office, and this is how much we are owing. On the last day of Buhari leaving office, $113 billion. Now, as of today, this is from the Debt Management Office, our debt has gone from $113 billion to $97 billion, meaning that Bola Tinubu has reduced our debt by over $14 billion. We should be appreciating this man. Yet, Peter Obi came here and lied to the Nigerian people. What did he do? Very manipulatively. He took the debts and then he now translated them into naira to make it look like the debts have increased. Because don't forget, the naira has been floated. So today, the naira is trading at 1,531 naira to the dollar. So when you now multiply that by what we're owing today, which is $97 billion, it looks as if our debt has gone up in naira value. But don't forget, these were debts that were taken in dollars, mostly euro bonds, debts from China, France, and from the Bretton Woods institution. Peter Obi came here and lied, and he told more lies than that. He also lied concerning Nnamdi Kanu. He said...
Just for a moment, let's stay on the debt issue.
Yes.
Our debt as it stands in 2015, in 2015 actually, the debt was around 12 trillion. This is the total of foreign and local debts.
Yes.
But as of end of 2024, our debt has risen to 138 trillion. Is that right?
That is right.
Do you agree with that figure?
That is correct.
So it then means that by April 2025, there are indications that Nigeria's total debt is of 162 trillion naira. Now, if you look at it, it is a fact that we added a bit of debt.
No,
from 2023 and 2025.
No, that's not accurate. You have to understand this. This is economics. And I have a master's in international banking and finance law from England. Let me explain it to you. I'm going to give you and the public a little education on this. When you're taking a debt, from, for example, a Eurobond debt, or from China, it's in dollars. It's not in naira. So that debt is stable. Now, you have the naira is floated. So because the naira is floated, the naira is not stable because it's being driven by the laws of demand and supply. So in 2015, when our debt was 12 trillion naira, the value of the naira, it was pegged at 196 naira. So when you multiply that, that's why you get 12 trillion. If you take that same amount of money and multiply it by today's value of the naira, which is 1,531, it's not going to be 12 trillion. It's going to be something like maybe about 100 billion. Something close to that. So when you're taking General Buhari's debt, when he left office, it was $113 billion. Now, you're not multiplying it by what it was today. You're multiplying it then to get that figure by what the value of the Naira was then, which was between 440 and eventually about close to 700. And that's how you got that amount. Today, the Naira is 1,531 Naira. So when you multiply that, the dollar amount, which is 97 billion, multiplied by that, it makes it seem as if our debt has exploded.
Are you saying that Tinubu government did not borrow any money?
Tinubu government has borrowed money, but they've also repaid money. So, for example, we were owing the IMF. We are no longer owing the IMF at all. What we are actually paying to the IMF right now is what they call drawing rights. A drawing right is just like if you have a MasterCard. If you have a MasterCard, even if you pay your American Express or your MasterCard off, you're still going to be paying a yearly annual fee as a member. So our total indebtedness to the IMF has been paid, and it's actually there on the IMF's...
So the question that a lot of people will be asking is that you want to paint it as though Tinubu government is not getting any loan. But they are actually.
Yeah, they're getting loan. It's just like what the governor of Zamfara said to you. People are leaving the PDP. People are joining the PDP. Yes, this government is taking loans, and this government is also paying loans. So the government is paying more loans than they are taking. That is why our debt has reduced.
So let's ask ourselves a question. Just remember, okay. Let's ask ourselves a question. What currency do we produce?
What currency?
In Nigeria, in what currency do we produce?
We produce in the Naira.
In Naira.
Yeah.
So if we are going to convert and pay any debt, are we not going to take that same Naira to convert it to dollar to pay our debts?
That doesn't make sense. If you're taking a domestic debt, then that's when that happens, because you're taking a domestic debt in Naira.
But when you're paying, whichever currency that you take the debt, you are paying in that currency.
Yes.
But I am saying to you, your earnings is mostly in what? In your local currency.
Well,
your wealth.
If you look at our earnings, that's not quite accurate. You see, you have to understand, a lot of people don't realize this. Only 15% of Nigeria's GDP is oil and gas. However, oil and gas is more than about maybe something like 75% of our foreign exchange earnings. So we are earning in dollars. For example, even if you're going to the port, the Nigerian Ports Authority, the Nigerian Ports Authority is earning in dollars. So we have a lot, we're earning in dollars. But the point I'm trying to make, let's not complicate things for your audience. If you borrow from a Nigerian bank in Naira, you pay back in Naira. If you borrow from the Eurobond or from China or from France or from the Bretton Woods institutions in dollars, you pay back in dollars. As at today, our total indebtedness has actually reduced. It has reduced from $113 billion to $97 billion. Peter Obi came to your program and lied. That was a lie. It was an economic sabotage to Nigeria. And the man knew this. If he did not know that, that means he's ignorant, and that means that he shouldn't be running for office. He also told other lies. He told lies about Nnamdi Kanu. He was asked a question by you, and he said...
No, I don't want us to go yet away from economy.
Okay.
The economy of this country, the productivity level of this country, there are major levels of the economy that have been weakening or troubled. One is the capacity of production, which inflation and the rest, all major indices of our economy are in the negative.
That's not true.
I said major of our economy indices are in the negative.
Well, that's not true again.
Okay.
I mean, I did in fact. I don't deal in opinions.
So let's look at it. What are your unemployment figures?
Well, the unemployment figures in Nigeria has actually improved. Now, please, allow me to land. Okay. But the major thing you want to talk about, you talk about production. We are not talking about now. When you talk about production, in Nigeria, we have a surplus of $14.1 billion. That has never happened before. What that means is that we are now exporting more than importing. That is a major plus. Not just that, we had a 3.84 GDP growth rate last year. When did we have that? We had 2 recessions under Buhari. Have we had a recession now? And not just that, if you look at it now steadily, the inflation rate has been reducing. That's because the policies put by this administration are working.
After the rebasing.
Yeah, no, the rebasing has not happened. The rebasing is going to happen. I think the rebasing is coming up next week, they said.
But what was the inflation rate when Bola Tinubu got into office and now?
Well, the inflation rate when Bola Tinubu got into office was quite high under Buhari. I think what you're trying to talk about was the inflation rate under Jonathan, which was at single digits. So let us focus on production, because you talked about production. The best factor to gauge production is your trade surplus, because that's what is that's what.
So in your own view, you think that the economy is doing better under Bola Tinubu?
It's not on my own view. I'm talking about the facts. The facts are there. We are exporting.
Where were we pre-Bola Tinubu and now?
Yeah, pre-Bola Tinubu and now, our debts have reduced, our production has increased. The all-share index of the Nigerian Stock Exchange has hit 3 times all-time high. As a matter of fact, last year we overtook Argentina as the most profitable stock market in the whole world. Right now, we are the second most profitable stock market in Africa after Zimbabwe.
What do you say to our exchange rate?
Our exchange, and see, that is the thing, that is a form of the economic illiteracy of a lot of people. Our exchange rate has never been 196 or 400 naira. At that time, our exchange rate was being subsidized. People make the mistake. They forget that the subsidy on the naira was actually higher than the subsidy on fuel. We were spending about $1 billion every month on fuel, but we were spending $1.5 billion every month to subsidize the naira. And that was what was keeping the naira at that rate. It was not the real value of the naira. When Bola Tinubu came in, he said, no, that cannot happen because we were not using that subsidized naira to do things that were going to be valuable for the economy.
Please let me land. Mr. Omokri.
No, please let me land, please. We are using that, we were freaking it away. So he said, this is what happens in America, this is what happens in the United Kingdom. We are going to float the currency and allow the laws of demand and supply determine the naira rate. That is not devaluation, that is flotation. Devaluation is when, like what happened in Egypt, you peg your currency at, say, maybe 200 Egyptian pounds to $1. And then you come out and say, okay, no, I'm going to now peg it at 400. That is devaluation. What happened in Nigeria is flotation. And that is now, the market is now determining the naira's value.
So in your own analysis, and you say that the economy has done better under President Bola Tinubu in the last 2 years, but what happens to the purchasing power of the average person? What happens to the livelihoods of the average person? What happens to the ability of the person to be able to feed and transport?
Well, should we continue to go into debt because we want to now start to give our people an artificial luxury? We were borrowing so much under General Buhari. Don't forget, the reason why Godwin Emefiele is in jail is because we took a loan of 28...
He's under trial.
Well, he's in jail. That's why I didn't say prison. There's a difference. When you're under trial, they put you in jail. When you have been convicted, you go to prison. There is a reason why Godwin Emefiele is in jail, because he took loans of 28 trillion naira without informing the National Assembly. What were they using that money to do? They were using that money to artificially inflate the value of the naira. And so we were living in a fool's paradise. Bola Tinubu has taken that away, and now we are now living at our own means. So we cannot be borrowing because we want to give our people food. We have to produce, and that's why we are now producing now, because exports are going up. Imports are reducing. We now have, like I said before, a $14.1 billion straight surplus.
What about the impression on the average person? That's the question I asked you.
Yeah, the thing is, the impression on the average person is this: we have to look inward. Look at me.
And continue to suffer.
No.
The person that is in pain.
Please, allow me answer your question. Allow me answer your question. We have to look inwards. Look at me. Everything I'm wearing from head to toe is made in Nigeria. That's good for our economy. Not taking $4 billion to look at that. We are a country. One of the world's largest proven oil and gas reserves. But Venezuela is a basket case. We were going that way if not for Bola Tinubu, who said, no, we cannot keep on borrowing because we want to please people. We have to leave. Of course, Bola Tinubu. Look, everything that Bola Tinubu is doing are the things that both Peter Obi and Waziri Atiku said they were going to do. They said they were going to remove fuel subsidy. In fact, Peter Obi, I've got the tape, you can watch it on my social media platform. He said, I'm going to remove fuel subsidy immediately. The same thing that Waziri Atiku said. Bola Tinubu has done it. Both of them said they were going to float the naira. Bola Tinubu has done it. Both of them said they were going to devolve power from the federal to the local government. Bola Tinubu has done it.
But why does it look like Bola Tinubu is losing popularity?
Listen, that is always the case in Nigeria. The best predictor of the future is the past. In every administration, when you have the two-way mark of your first term, when people are feeling the effects of your reform, they're going to have that kind of feeling. But by the time the government gets to the three-way mark, this is history. It happened to General Obasanjo. It happened to, because Yar'Adua did not have that because of the sickness. It happened to President Jonathan. It happened to Buhari, even worse than is happening to Bola Tinubu. And we are beginning to see things are getting better. Look, your governor was talking about it. The agricultural input of Nigeria has improved. So things are going to get better. Listen, can I say this? Nigeria is not going to get to El Dorado overnight, but we are going to get there over time.
So let me ask you.
Please, I'd like to talk about the lie that Peter Obi said about Nnamdi Kanu, because it was a dangerous lie.
What upset you about that?
He said, no, I mean, I wasn't upset. It was the lie. He said that the trial of Nnamdi Kanu does not make sense. Listen, I played you a video, which we cannot play because of the NBC. Can you testify that you heard the video? video. Can you tell your audience?
Yeah, I heard the
now,
video.
you heard him telling his supporters to kill policemen, to kill soldiers, to burn down Lagos. After he gave that video, do you know how many police and how many soldiers have died in the southeast? Over 50. As a matter of fact, there was a couple, an army couple, you know, her name was Gloria Matthews, her husband was Linus. They were killed and beheaded in Imo. Do you know who killed Ahmed Gulak in Imo? Who killed Harira Jibril with her 4 underage children? 160 police stations were shut down in the southeast. Why? Because IPOB, UGM, unknown gunmen, and ESN, they attacked them. They killed over 24 policemen. And then you are saying that the trial of a person who ordered this does not make sense. Look, as I speak to you right now, Finland is trying Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa is not even as guilty as Nnamdi Kanu. He has not done a half of what Nnamdi Kanu has done. Is Peter Obi going to tell the Finnish government that the trial...
Nnamdi Kanu is still not found guilty yet because he's facing trial.
Yes, but I can give my opinion. This is not fact. This is an opinion. Is Peter Obi going to tell the Finnish government that the trial of Simon Ekpa does not make sense? Look, Peter Obi gives an opinion on everything that happens in Nigeria, but he did not talk about the trial of Simon Ekpa. He did not condemn it. He did not condemn what Simon Ekpa did. So this man has separatist tendencies. He has never condemned the Monday sit at home. In fact, when he goes to Anambra, he obeys it. Look, if you are a policeman, if you are a soldier, is this the kind of commander-in-chief that you want to have? Somebody who says that a person who ordered the killing of your brothers in arms, his trial does not make sense? No. And then he lied about the convoy. He said that he'd never seen a presidential convoy with ambulances. I went on profiles. I put videos of President Trump's convoy with at least 2 ambulances, of the President Putin's convoy with at least 2 ambulances. He likes Indonesia. He went to Indonesia. I put videos of the president of Indonesia with 2 ambulances. Even Sierra Leone, that tiny country, the president moves with 2 ambulances.
But does it make sense for us to have ambulances on the convoy?
Of course,
but there are no
sense.
Ambulances in the hospital where they need them?
Listen to this, we are a poor country that is trying to get better. We cannot have everything at once. But listen, the only president that we had in Nigeria that did not have a convoy, his name was General Murtala Mohammed. What happened? He was killed on February 13, 1976. Now, the mistake that the people make is that Bukasinka Diga just shot Murtala Mohammed and went away. No, when he shot Murtala Mohammed, he did Murtala Mohammed. He left. And
We need to close now.
Okay.
So you are going to pick Atiku Abubakar over Bola Tinubu in 2027?
I'm going to pick Bola Tinubu, and I've said it there. If an election is being held today, and the candidates are Peter Obi, Waziri Atiku Abubakar, and President Bola Tinubu, not only will I vote for President Bola Tinubu, I will galvanize support. I will bring money from my own pocket, and I will campaign for Bola Tinubu, because he is doing what we in the People's Democratic Party said we're going to do. 4 things: devolve power from the federal to the local government, float the naira, remove fuel subsidy, and give student loans. Bola Tinubu is a transformational leader.
Loses the election in 2027, what would you do?
Look, I have a successful business, I have a successful life. This year alone, I've traveled to how many countries? I will keep on doing what I'm doing. Look, I am a patriot. I came here from California because somebody was undermining my country. I am a man of means. I do not depend on the government. Right. So if Bola Tinubu is no longer president and another person is president, if the president is not doing what I believe that he ought to be doing, just as I fought Buhari, I will fight that person.
All right.